You don't need enemies when your own mouth is quietly working against you. Right now, someone is weaponizing your past words. They're sitting somewhere, piecing together your downfall using sentences you spoke months ago. That joke you cracked? It's now evidence. That secret you revealed? It's leverage. That moment of vulnerability? It's their shortcut to victory. You assume your words vanish the moment they're spoken. You believe people forget. You trust that conversations fade away. But this is the most dangerous illusion in modern life. Every accomplished person has stumbled because of words they later regretted. Entire empires have collapsed because someone allowed too much to slip. Countless friendships have shattered because trust was betrayed by unguarded tongues. The ancient masters understood something we've allowed to disappear. Your own mouth is your greatest threat. It exposes your hidden fears, uncovers your weaknesses, and hands your adversaries exactly what they need to defeat you. Niccolo Machiavelli spent his life dissecting power, and he uncovered a brutal principle. Those who master their speech shape their destiny. Those who don't eventually fall victim to their own voice. In the next few minutes, you'll uncover 10 psychological traps that turn your words into your executioner. These situations happen to everyone, but only the wise recognize them before the damage is done. If you're ready to take full command, drop this affirmation in the comments. I speak only to win. Number 1. The rage revelation. Anger is a truth extractor. When fury takes over, your mind shuts down its defenses and your mouth becomes a confession chamber. Every frustration you've held inside, every resentment you've buried, every dark thought you've suppressed, they all erupt like venom. The person who provoked your anger isn't your enemy in that moment. They're your interrogator. They've just found the quickest method to pull your real truths out of you. While you're busy feeling righteous in your outrage, they're busy gathering intel on who you are behind your facade. Anger makes you predictable. Once someone learns what ignites your temper, they own you. They can spark your fury anytime they need you to slip up, reveal something, or sabotage your own reputation. Your anger becomes their remote control. The most dangerous part isn't what you say, it's who witnesses it. Your moment of rage becomes their permanent documentation of your character. Your temporary outburst becomes their lasting evidence. Machiavelli said, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." Command begins with commanding yourself. If you can't govern your speech in anger, you'll never govern anything important. Your rage isn't strength. It's weakness pretending to be power. The truly powerful feel anger but never display it. They process their fury privately and respond with intention. They know that today's emotional explosion becomes tomorrow's weapon in someone else's hands. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My anger works for me. Number 2. The victory parade. Success can intoxicate you more deeply than any drink. When you're on top, your ego demands an audience. You want applause for your intelligence, praise for your strategy, and acknowledgement for every smart move you've made. But this craving for recognition destroys more champions than defeat ever has. Every time you explain how you succeeded, you're teaching your rivals. Every time you reveal the logic behind your plan, you're giving a roadmap to those eager to beat you. Every detail you share about how you operate becomes the blueprint for the person who will eventually replace you. The hunger for validation is a trap even the most brilliant fall into. They can't resist showcasing their genius. They can't stay silent after a win. They slowly shift from enigmatic victors to exposed targets, one careless explanation at a time. Your competitors aren't impressed by your victories. They're analyzing them. They're not clapping for your brilliance. They're decoding it. They're not admirers. They're future opponents gathering intel straight from your own mouth. Machiavelli once wrote, "A wise ruler ought never to keep faith when by doing so it would be against his interests." Sharing the story of your success feels loyal to the people who supported you, but it betrays your own future. You don't owe anyone the secrets that secure your next achievement. Your loyalty must be to what you're building next, not to the applause of the past. True masters celebrate in silence and speak only when withholding their words. would cause greater problems. They know that mystery builds power, while explanations dissolve it. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Victory speaks silently. Number 3. The liquid confession. Alcohol doesn't create dangerous thoughts, it simply removes the filters that hide them. Each sip weakens your internal firewall. Each drink lowers your guard. Each bottle turns you into a source of information for anyone intelligent enough to remain sober. The most valuable secrets aren't extracted through pressure. They're collected over drinks. People reveal affairs, share business strategies, confess fears, and expose future plans when their inhibitions fade. What might take years of study to uncover can be learned in one intoxicated night. Skilled manipulators are experts in liquid interrogation. They engineer comfortable settings, refill glasses without hesitation, and ask soft, harmless questions. As their targets loosen up, they listen carefully while remembering every detail, and you remember none. Your drunken honesty becomes sober consequences. That confession about relationship trouble becomes ammunition during separation. That comment about business challenges becomes strategic intel for a competitor. That brief moment of unfiltered truth becomes a lifelong mistake. Machiavelli warned, "Therefore a prince, so long as he keeps his subjects united and loyal, ought not to mind the reproach of cruelty." Be ruthless toward your own impulses when alcohol is flowing. Your temporary desire to bond and confess creates permanent vulnerabilities. The fleeting pleasure of sharing becomes the lasting curse of exposure. Wise individuals drink with precision, or not at all. They know that in an era where everyone carries a recording device, every intoxicated sentence can become evidence. They choose clarity over connection whenever the stakes are high. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Clarity is my power. Number 4. The breaking point. Pressure exposes who you truly are, and most people discover they possess far less strength than they believed. When stress rises, deadlines close in, and expectations grow heavy, the polished mask of composure begins to crack. What appears underneath is often fragile, messy, and easily exploited by anyone who understands human behavior. Stress breeds desperation, and desperation leads straight to confession. Under pressure, people admit they're unprepared, reveal they're struggling, and confess that they're falling behind. They think they're seeking comfort, but what they're really doing is handing their enemies precise coordinates for attack. The most dangerous confessions under pressure are the ones you share with those closest to you. You tell family about trouble at work. You tell friends about relationship issues. You tell co-workers about the skills you lack. Every confession creates a pressure point others can use against you when the time suits them. Your breaking point isn't a moment of honesty, it's a moment of vulnerability open to exploitation. While you're focusing on easing the strain, others may be focusing on applying more. Your stress becomes their chance to gather information, gain leverage, or quietly prepare for your collapse. Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved." If you cannot be both, when you crumble under pressure, you inspire neither fear nor affection, you inspire disdain. People lose respect for those who can't carry stress with dignity. One moment of weakness becomes their permanent evaluation of who you are. Pressure itself is never the enemy, your reaction to it is. If you master your response, pressure becomes a weapon that exposes weaker competitors while strengthening your own character. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Pressure builds diamonds. Number 5. The sympathy extraction. Expert manipulators never strike head-on. They approach disguised as the wounded. They present polished stories of hardship, reveal selective weaknesses, and make you feel like their hero. While you're busy feeling valued and needed, they're quietly harvesting every valuable detail you give them. The sympathy trap works because it flips the power dynamic. Instead of feeling cautious, you feel protective. Instead of guarding sensitive information, you share it in the name of helping. Instead of keeping boundaries, you offer emotional closeness, which becomes their entry point. Real vulnerability is raw and unrefined. Performed vulnerability is smooth, calculated, and strategic. You must learn to tell the difference between true struggle and deliberate manipulation. The person who presents the perfect emotional story is often the most dangerous predator in the room. Your compassion becomes their tactical edge. Every secret you share in the spirit of helping becomes intelligence for their future advantage. Every weakness you reveal out of solidarity becomes ammunition they can use when the moment is right. Machiavelli observed, "Men are so simple and so much driven by their immediate needs that a deceitful person will always find plenty ready to be deceived. Your immediate desire to help makes you an easy target. While you're trying to be good, they're trying to be effective. Your kindness becomes their strategy. True strength offers support without exposing personal vulnerabilities. It helps without emptying emotional reserves. It shows compassion without surrendering power. Master this discipline or become prey to those who already have." Drop this affirmation in the comments. I help without revealing. Number 6. The information exchange. Social circles run on a currency far more powerful than money: information. Every secret whispered, every opinion disclosed, every confidence betrayed has value within this hidden marketplace. When you engage in gossip, you're not simply passing time, you're conducting an intelligence trade. And most people are disastrously bad at negotiating. The gossip economy follows one brutal law: information travels upward toward power, and betrayal trickles downward toward the powerless. The individual who gathers secrets without revealing their own gains quiet influence. The one who shares freely while learning nothing becomes socially bankrupt. Every workplace, friend group, and community contains information brokers. They seem warm, curious, and trustworthy, but behind the facade, they are running quiet intelligence networks. In these networks, your secrets are the merchandise and your trust is the price you pay. The real danger of gossip isn't what you say about others, it's what your words reveal about you. Every secret you spill signals you can't be trusted. Every confidence you violate confirms you're unreliable. Every rumor you spread becomes permanent testimony about your character. Machiavelli once wrote, "The way men live is so far removed from how they ought to live that anyone who abandons what is for what should be heads toward ruin rather than preservation." You assume gossip should be harmless bonding, but the reality is far darker. It's an intelligence battlefield where personal information is traded like stocks. While you cling to the ideal of what socializing should be, others are exploiting what it is, a marketplace of leverage. Master the information economy by becoming a collector, not a supplier. Hear everything, reveal nothing meaningful. Watch quietly as others sabotage their own future with their unguarded words. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Secrets flow to me. Number 7. The authority trap. When authority challenges you unfairly, your instincts roar for justice. You want to defend yourself, prove your competence, and correct the misunderstanding. But this instinct is a trap that ruins careers, damages relationships, and dismantles reputations. Authority rarely wants your explanation. What it wants is your composure. Most authority-driven conflicts are tests wearing the mask of confrontation. They're designed to assess whether you can withstand pressure, respond to criticism with control, and maintain professionalism even when provoked. If you react emotionally, you fail the exam and reinforce their doubts about you. The fairness you expect does not exist in hierarchical systems. Respect isn't something you demand. It's something you earn through consistent performance. The understanding you crave will never come from challenging those who influence your future. Your attempt to defend yourself becomes the very evidence used against you. Every justification you offer signals an inability to accept responsibility. Every argument you raise proves you lack the strategic intelligence to recognize when silence is more powerful than speech. Machiavelli once stated, "Politics have no relation to morals. Your moral outrage at unfair treatment means nothing to the machinery of power. Power operates by its own logic. Your only options are to adapt or be crushed by it. Wise individuals respond to unfair authority Challenges with calm compliance followed by exceptional results. They let their work deliver the arguments they wisely avoided speaking. They understand that what feels like unjust criticism today can become a doorway to greater opportunity tomorrow if handled with strategic discipline. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Results prove everything. Number 8. The revenge revelation. When relationships end in betrayal, you gain access to explosive intelligence, their secrets, fears, failures, and vulnerabilities. The urge to use this information as revenge feels justified, but exposing it is a self-destructive strategy that harms you far more than it harms them. Every relationship is a two-way exchange of intelligence. You know their weaknesses and they know yours. When you weaponize private information, you're not only attacking them, you're announcing to the world that you exploit trust. Future partners, employers, and allies observe how you handle breakups. They're evaluating whether you can be entrusted with sensitive information. Your acts of revenge become their cautionary tale about your character. The deadliest effect of revenge revelation isn't the immediate harm to your former partner, it's the long-term destruction of your reputation. Everyone notices that you betray confidences when hurt, and your credibility evaporates. Machiavelli once wrote, "Severities should be dealt out all at once so that their suddenness may give less offense. Benefits ought to be handed out drop by drop so that they may be relished the more. If you must settle scores, do it through actions that cannot be traced back to exposed confidences. Preserve your reputation for discretion, while finding strategic ways to address the wrongs. Professional power players handle betrayal with calculated silence. They maintain secrets as future leverage rather than squandering them for immediate satisfaction. They know that a retained secret is always more powerful than a revealed one." Drop this affirmation in the comments. Silence is my revenge. Number 9. The competence theater. When you feel uncertain or insecure, your mouth instinctively tries to compensate by performing expertise, confidence, and authority. This overcompensation is psychological theater. It deceives no one and exposes everything. Your desperate attempts to prove yourself become proof of your inadequacy. Insecurity creates verbal overreach, name-dropping to appear connected, over-explaining to seem knowledgeable, interrupting to assert importance. Every attempt signals the exact opposite of what you intend. Your performance becomes entertainment for everyone else, and your attempts at credibility only highlight its absence. True competence doesn't need announcements. Genuine expertise doesn't require justification. Real confidence doesn't seek validation. Constantly performing these traits with words proves, paradoxically, that you don't actually possess them in substance. The most dangerous aspect of competence theater is predictability. Observers learn exactly what triggers your need to prove yourself. They discover how to manipulate you into revealing information, making poor decisions, or acting against your own interests. Machiavelli said, "Never was anything great achieved without danger. The danger of appearing incompetent is tempting to avoid, but the greater danger is exposing your weakness through desperate overcompensation. Fear of seeming weak makes you weak. Master performers let their actions build their reputation instead of relying on words. They are comfortable with their value not being immediately recognized because they trust their ability to demonstrate it when it counts." Number 10. The promise prison. When facing demands or expectations you cannot immediately meet, your mouth starts issuing promises your reality cannot fulfill. Promises feel like solutions. They solve short-term problems without requiring present capability. But every promise is a debt that grows with interest. Promise-making is the language of desperation. It is what people do when they lack actual solutions for real challenges. Instead of addressing reality, they invent future scenarios that never materialize. Instead of creating real value, they generate false expectations. The psychology of promises is seductive because they cost nothing up front. You can promise change, improvement, delivery, or performance without immediate investment. but the payment always comes later, in the form of broken credibility and shattered trust. Each unfulfilled promise becomes evidence of unreliability. Each failed commitment proves your word is worthless. Each broken guarantee demonstrates that temporary relief has been prioritized over lasting reputation. Machiavelli warned, "He who builds on the people builds on the mud." Promises are built on hope, which is inherently unstable. People want to believe your commitments because it solves their immediate problems. But when those promises fail, both the maker and the foundation collapse together. Strategic operators underpromise and overdeliver. They focus on exceeding expectations rather than making grand commitments they cannot keep. They build reputations for reliability instead of rhetoric. Your mouth has betrayed you your entire life, likely without your awareness. Every conversation is a potential minefield. Where one careless word can undo years of careful positioning. Every social interaction is a chessboard where your words are either strategic moves or fatal mistakes. The 10 situations we've explored aren't rare. They happen daily, to everyone right now. The difference between victims and victors isn't intelligence or opportunity, it's understanding that words have consequences and silence has power. Machiavelli understood a truth most never learn. The game of life is not won by those who speak their minds, but by those who control their minds before they speak. Every word either strengthens your position or undermines it. Every silence either protects you or costs you opportunity. In a world where every interaction can be recorded, remembered and weaponized, verbal discipline becomes your most valuable skill. The most successful people in history weren't the loudest. They were the most deliberate. They spoke when words could build and remained silent when words could destroy. They understood that in the ultimate game of power, your mouth can be your greatest asset or your deadliest liability. The choice is yours. Will you continue letting your mouth sabotage your success? Or will you master the ancient art of strategic speech? Will you feed your enemy's intelligence with careless chatter? Or join the ranks of those who know that true power whispers while weakness shouts? Your words will either construct your empire or become the instruments others use to destroy it. The decision you make today will shape the path your life follows. In a world where most cannot control their tongues, the person who masters their speech masters their destiny. If this insight opened your eyes to how your own words have been used against you, subscribe now for more lessons on the dark psychology of power and influence. Your future self will thank you for learning these truths before it's too late.